It's Friday, ladies and gentlemen. We've been working in the yard all day, and finally, do I get to hop in a fantasy football draft. Right before we do, a couple things to talk about. One, make sure you are taking advantage of the free Jimmy Butler line they have on Underdog right now. Usually don't talk NBA player props, but when there's a free bet, you know I got to bring it up. Second thing is, I'm sure that everybody's already seen by now that on Underdog, they also launched the full season NFL player props here. And I just want to put this out, okay? Please, when you go through and look at these lines, understand that a lot of uncertainty happens during the season. Well, yeah, Mahomes stays healthy all week, 17 weeks, and he plays how he usually does, he's most likely hitting that line, right? But what happens if Mahomes misses a month? What happens if he tweaks his shoulder? What happens if he tweaks an ankle? So be very hesitant in taking the higher thens on these lines. Personally, I'll be going through these and I'll be looking for a lot of lower thens, but we'll make a live stream. We'll make a video about that later in the week. Today, we have business. Today, we are hopping in a puppy 2 draft. Let's get this going, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for everybody hanging out with us. Now, Yoda Pilled says, facts, drop that like. Yes, if you have not done so already, drop a like in the live stream, subscribe to the channel. And we are going to be sitting here at pick 6. I'm fine with pick 6, but what is very interesting is the amount of badges that you have in this draft. I don't know how many drafts I have been in before where there have been this many people with badges. Keep in mind, on Underdog, to get a red badge, you have to have 1,000 drafts done. To get a black and white badge, you've had to have 500 drafts done. So the team at 1 has done at least 1,000 drafts. The team at 2 has done at least 1,000 drafts. The team at 5 has done 1,000 drafts. The team at 6 has done 1,000 drafts. The team at 8 has. The team at 9 has. The team at 11 has. And even the team at 4 has gone through and done 500 of these. So this is going to be a scary room. This is going to be something that's difficult to overcome. Hell, we'll try our best nonetheless. But again, thank you so much for everybody coming and hanging out with us here. Going to be pretty damn fun. Okay. Now, let's go. Eric says, badge drafts are the best. The full non-badge rooms go all over the place. That's what I like. I like seeing rooms go all over the place and allowing us to scoop up a ton of value. Personally, that's what I'm here for. Personally, that's what I'm hoping to see. Now, CMC off the board at pick 4. So let's see. Just a guy on the clock. Goes Kelsey. Hell yeah. We're going to go ahead. We're going to get Cooper Kupp. I mean, we were going to take Stephon Diggs if you would have passed on Kupp. I'm sorry. If you would have taken Kupp and passed on Kelsey, we were going to go Stephon Diggs over Travis Kelsey. Super excited to grab our wide receiver here in round 1 in Cooper Kupp. Not going to overthink this at all. But Buddington University coming out with the donation. Thank you so much, my friend. Says 10-team, 10-keeper, Lamar, Brees, Walker, Pierce, Connor, Chase, Waddle, Pittman, Burks, Hollywood. Should I keep Hawkinson over anybody above? We're taking JSN at pick 3. Personally, I would go ahead and I definitely would keep TJ Hawkinson over James Conner. I would also keep TJ Hawkinson over Treylon Burks. Really, it's going to be dependent on how the rest of your league operates in terms of running back versus wide receiver value and how you feel comfortable attacking each position in the draft. Overall, these are phenomenal keepers, but I would definitely keep Hawkinson over either Connor or over Burks. I mean, look, Connor right now is what? You're running back 4 on this team. Treylon Burks, your wide receiver 5, wide receiver 6. Hawkinson could straight up be an elite level tight end this next season, my friend. So definitely go in that direction. But real quick, we haven't said it this live stream, so let me say it once for everybody that is here that may not know what's going on. This is Underdog Fantasy, the same place where we were looking at those player props earlier on, the same place that has the free Jimmy Butler line for the game tonight. This is a best ball draft. That's a fantasy football draft that has no time commitment at all during the season. How I drafted over 700 of these teams last year and won $150,000. This is their puppy tournament. It's a $5 buy-in. It is a $1 million prize pool. $150,000 for first place, $75,000 for second place. Obviously, they have way more tournaments than this. But when you go and sign up to Underdog Fantasy with promo code FLOCK, you are going to get your first deposit match dollar for dollar up to $100. You're going to get my 2023 fantasy football rankings and and a free trial to flockfantasy.com. But hell, I'm going to be drafting here every single day until the season starts. So I want you to get in some drafts with me. And you can pause this real quick. This is everywhere Underdog's available in. If it's in yellow, you can hop into a draft there today, ladies and gentlemen. But anyway, Luke coming out with a donation. Thank you. Says, full PPR 2 keeper. I keep Eckler round 1, Garrett Wilson round 16, Ramondre 9, Devonta Smith round 10. Why these places, I'm sorry, what does this say? Why these places are due to our keepers go a draft order before they went last year. Okay. Little confused on that part. So essentially we're going to be keeping 2 guys, right? We're definitely going to be keeping Garrett Wilson round 16. We're not going to have to think about that for a second. Now, Eckler round 1 versus Ramondre Stevenson, Devonta Smith will be a little interesting. In general, if people have to go through and say, spend a high keeper cost on a player in a start 9 league, in a keep 9 league, keep 10 league, honestly there, I don't really care about the cost. If everybody's going to be keeping 6, 7, 8 guys, the player pool is going to be so diluted that a first round pick isn't really what a first round pick usually is, right? So in that kind of situation, I'll be completely fine going through and keeping Austin Eckler round 1. However, if everybody only keeps 2 players, those round 1 options should actually be very, very strong. You may end up still getting to draft Austin Eckler round 1. So instead, I probably would go Garrett Wilson round 16, as well as Ramondre Stevenson in round 9, my friend. Okay. Dominic says, if Underdog was no longer in Texas, would you move states? Yes, I would move states if Underdog was not in Texas. And that doesn't even, it's not even up for debate, really. Josh Allen, going to be our guy here. I mean, it looks like I'm just drafting more and more Josh Allen. Was not taking him at all when he was going at the beginning of the second round. But now that we've been getting Josh Allen consistently in the third, I said at the beginning of the offseason, if somehow he fell a round past ADP and we are getting him in the third, I'd start taking him there. That's where he goes now. So yes, I'll start taking Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen now that they are third round selections. Okay. Now we have Breece Hall off the board here at pick 31. So team 4 actually pulls off the Devonta Smith, Jalen Hurts pairing, which is really exciting. You had the team at pick 2 with Chase, Andrews, as well as Lamar. We actually saw Derek do this in a live stream earlier in the week as well. I think Derek did that 2 days ago in a draft on the live stream. So a couple interesting developments. To be honest with you, I think our team is the best. I'm sure that the team at 7 is pretty pissed that we went through and we took Josh Allen whenever he had Stephon Diggs. But I mean, in general, whilst Josh Allen's definitely going to be someone that we're looking to stack later on, the same time, I mean, you can see some massive spike weeks from Josh Allen, even without one of his wide receivers also providing a massive spike, just given the fact that Allen could go out there and have 5 rushing touchdowns. That's definitely a possibility. Okay. Now we have Jahmyr Gibbs off the board at 38. Travis Etienne still available. No idea if Etienne's going to make it back to us, however. Of course, if he were to make it back to us in the middle of round 4, like I said, earlier this offseason, and I'll stand by it, I will draft a lot of Travis Etienne in round 4 if we continue to get the opportunity. We'll see. We'll see. Hopkins goes. So we're 1 pick away from getting Travis Etienne here at 43. This team took Barkley Hall through the first few rounds. So no, never mind. They're going to go ahead. They're going to take their third running back, not allowing us to get Travis Etienne. Instead, we'll pivot over to Jerry Jeudy. I mean, I just think in general, we're going to have to take a wide receiver here. Once we go Josh Allen in round 3, not really the possibility of being able to grab like Justin Fields with this pick. I'm also not going to be inclined to go Mike Williams here or Keenan Allen. In general, we're going to go ahead and we are going to take the Los Angeles Charger here in the middle of the 4th round whenever we want to set ourselves up with the ability to take Justin Herbert in the middle of round 5. And specifically because we already have Josh Allen, not really a reason for us to be looking at round 5, Justin Herbert. So yeah, we'll just take Jeudy and we'll keep it moving. Keep it moving. Okay. Yeah, Frank the Tank says, yeah, we got Snipe back. Travis Etienne was stolen from us. Interesting start there. I mean, I will say I 100% agree with Stephon Diggs, Barkley out the gate. I mean, I have a lot of Stephon Diggs and Saquon Barkley teams. I honestly probably go Breece Hall at 31 as well. Where it gets interesting is when we only have one wide receiver through the first 3 rounds. If you decide to continue to go down that path and continue to take RB there with Travis Etienne at 42. So I'm sure that they were sitting there kind of going back and forth with it, but clearly they decided to go down that road. And this team down here at 1 goes Joe Burrow at 48 with neither Jamar Chase or T. Higgins and no ability to grab Joe Mixon. Don't really understand why we see the Joe Burrow selection there at 48. I mean, I would think that if you really wanted to grab a quarterback here, you'd be more likely to go ahead and take Jalen Hurts at pick 25 than Joe Burrow at pick 48. I don't know. Lockett goes 51 as well. Interesting draft. So like I said, we personally are not going to be looking at Justin Fields here, considering the fact that we took Josh Allen in round 3. Okay, Pierce goes 52. Looks like this will be a 0 RB build. Of course, y'all know I never go into a draft saying this is the one strategy that we have to use to win this draft. In reality, I think that you can win your fantasy football draft with a multitude of different strategies, but what you need to do is you need to stay flexible, especially if you're going to be drafting a ton of teams here on Underdog. Let the board fall to you and then be able to have a vast array of different builds that you can work with throughout the offseason. So, yep, we're going to go with the 0 RB build here specifically in this draft, just because that's what the value gave us. So Fields does go off the board 55. I definitely think if you're the team at 7, Justin Fields is an exciting pick there, right? But now you have one wide receiver through the first 5 rounds. So going to be very interested to see how that team can pull this off, right? We'll be very interested. Now you have Pittman going 56, Ayuk going 57. Okay, Dobbins, Kenneth Walker. See where Alexander Madison goes. I believe Alexander Madison's still on the board, right? What is his ADP right now? So Alexander Madison, ADP 71. So Herbert falling. Justin Herbert finally off the board at 62. That team did not have a Los Angeles Charger, but at the same time, you get Herbert at such a nice value that what they're going to be able to do a little later on is they're going to be able to put themselves in the position to take Quentin Johnston in round 7 to pair up with Justin Herbert. I mean, hell, when you get Justin Herbert in round 6, you should be very happy with it. I mean, I think kind of agree with Frank here. The Herbert disrespect, I don't want to say is crazy, but it is wild to see how many people disrespect Justin Herbert this year. Whenever, if you go back to look at what was happening last season, remember last season, Mahomes was my most drafted quarterback. And a big reason for that is we are getting Mahomes in round 5 because people were worried about no Tyreek Hill and people were taking Justin Herbert ahead of Patrick Mahomes. Yes, that was happening last year. I know it doesn't sound real. I know it doesn't sound believable. I know it sounds like I'm making it up. But Justin Herbert in almost every single draft was going ahead of Patrick Mahomes. For that reason, I had no Herbert. I had all the Patrick Mahomes. But this year, if you're looking at the fact that Justin Herbert gets an added weapon in Quentin Johnston in round 1, and now he is going to be going significantly behind Mahomes, where Mahomes goes round 2 and Herbert goes round 5, round 6. Now it's, I don't want to say the exact opposite situation, but I mean, it kind of is, where I've been drafting a lot of Justin Herbert and I haven't been drafting much Patrick Mahomes anymore. Okay. So we're going to take Kittle at 67. I mean, I think now this allows us to only have to draft 2 tight ends with this build. And at the same time, I really like George Kittle. Sets up a Trey Lance stack later on. I know that we will get extra points if we go through and take Trey Lance. And yeah, it is super interesting start to this draft. Quarterback, we have Allen. Wide receiver, we have Kupp, Olave, Judy, DJ Moore. Tight end, we have George Kittle. Alexander Madison falls to 73. Now, this is the furthest I've seen Alexander Madison go since Dalvin Cook was cut off the Minnesota Vikings. That's a team that has 4 running backs already. This team takes Dalvin. So the team that has Jalen Hurts decided to go Kyle Pitts. I mean, they did pair up London and Pitts. I wonder if they decide to go ahead and take Dallas Goedert here at 76, even though they took Kyle Pitts in the last round. Brand says he got Dalvin Cook at pick 88 yesterday. Love it, my friend. Love it. I mean, talking about just taking a swing on someone that could see their value rise dramatically by the time we get to the start of the season. Okay, J1. They go Jahan Dotson. So we were taking Gabe Davis here, if I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, we wanted to go through and set ourselves up with the Allen Gabe Davis stack. But if Goddard falls to us in the middle of round 7, I know that we said do not let us do this anymore. I know specifically yesterday on the live stream, we did the same thing multiple times. And I said, stop me, save me from myself. Do not let me take the elite level quarterback and still the bully tight end strategy. But here we are again, doing the same exact thing. Like I said, we were planning on going and taking Gabe Davis at pick 78 to pair up with Josh Allen, but we just simply don't get the opportunity. I'm sorry. If I get Dallas Goedert in the middle of round 7, I have to take Dallas Goedert. I have to do it. Flyboy Medic says don't do it. I know we shouldn't do it. I know we've learned our lesson enough, right? I mean, we ruined 2 drafts yesterday doing the same exact thing, but you know what they say. Idiots cannot learn. All right. Jeep Guy says he tried. I know. I know. All right, let's swing this back around. A little bit of a different situation if you're looking at the team that we have now. So Pacheco off the board here at 83. So now tight end no longer in play for us, of course. Let's see. Scott goes Rashad White, 84. Rashad Bateman, 85. Richardson goes. Good for us to see the wide receivers off the board, of course. Okay, so we're going to go ahead. We will take James Conner here. We need a running back, clearly. James Conner's in a very bad offense, clearly. But James Conner is a 3-down back, so even if it's a horrendous offense, even if James Conner isn't old, I mean, at the end of the day, when we are so desperate in need for a running back here, round 8, in my mind, makes a lot of sense to go ahead and grab James Conner. Okay. Let's move this down. Frank says double stack with Sutton. Now, I'm definitely not taking any wide receivers in this range, my man. I mean, the reason we go through and take out the gate, I mean, Kupp, Olave, Judy, DJ Moore, is so I don't have to take Cortland Sutton over James Conner. There's a reason that we go ahead and do this. And hell, Cortland Sutton went pick 88 anyway, and James Conner went pick 91. Okay. Let's move this down. Jameson. So this team has already gone with Henry, Jacobs, Aaron Jones, Alexander Madison. So I'm assuming they're really not going to be looking at another running back. I mean, hell, their only 2 wide receivers right now are Jefferson and Pickens. So you assume that they go ahead and take another wide receiver here. They go What the hell is this team doing? Through 9 rounds so far, 2 wide receivers, Jefferson, Pickens. I don't know. Okay. Let's swing this around. I mean, to be fair, what wide receiver would they take? Are they going to take Allen Lazard over Javonte Williams? I don't know. James Cook goes pick 100. That is brutal. We are really wanting James Cook for this team to pair up with Josh Allen. Looks like we're going to just have to grab a super nasty option for Josh Allen a little later on. So we're going to just grab another running back. We have Zach Charbonnet here. I mean, no reason for us to take Dak Prescott. We don't have Lamb. I mean, we don't have Pollard. Tua, we don't have Waddle. We don't have Tyreek. So really, we're just going to be looking at running back. Clearly, we need RB on this team. So Zach Charbonnet will be our running back 2 next to James Conner. I still like this build. Of course, it would have been much, much better if we could have had James Cook there to pair up with Josh Allen, or if instead we would have had, say, Gabe Davis make it to us in round 7 to pair up with Josh Allen. So a little tough, but as we talked about when we took Josh Allen in the middle of round 3, Allen is a quarterback at the end of the day. While I definitely would rather have him stacked, I am fine having a Josh Allen team or 2 where we don't have one of those top options in his offense, just in case one of those spike weeks that we really need to get by with Allen comes from a 2 rushing touchdown sort of week, which you can obviously get from Josh Allen. At least we have seen it historically. Okay. Now let's move this down. We have Odell Beckham Jr., 106. It's good for us to see these tight ends go off with David Njoku, Frymuth, of course, when we have Kittle, Goddard. Okay, Cousins goes. So in terms of looking at quarterbacks at this point, if Dak Prescott were to make it back around to us, never mind. Dak Prescott does go here to the CeeDee Lamb team at a pretty strong value. Congrats to this team. They did miss out on Quentin Johnston when they took Justin Herbert round 6, but at the end of the day, Herbert round 6. I'm not going to sit here and cry about it. Okay. So quarterbacks that will be in play for us, we could still get Stafford really late, Carr really late, Russ really late, Lance really late, / Purdy. I know everybody thinks it's Purdy. Daniel Jones goes. Do we take Penny? Or do we go wide receiver? I truly don't know what to do here, ladies and gentlemen. We'll go ahead. We'll take Rashad Penny as our 3rd running back. I mean, looking at the historical data that we pulled, if you were looking at top teams in the NFL and their running back production, in general, it's a good idea to draft running backs in good offenses on good teams. Rashad Penny is a running back that, can't stay healthy. Rashad Penny is a running back that may not be great himself, but hell, at the end of the day, if you're on the Philadelphia Eagles, and I'm not a big-time believer in DeAndre Swift, probably have to mix in some Rashad Penny here, right? It is what it is. It is what it is. Easton says he's loving Team 4. Let's go ahead and let's check out Team 4 here. So, yeah, this is the team that had the phenomenal start out the gate where they go CMC, Devonta Smith, and Jalen Hurts. So, they're able to get the Smith-Hurts stack there at the 2-3 turn. They get London and Pitts paired up together, which I actually like to see. They take Dameon Pierce over Kenneth Walker, which you're not going to see in the majority of these drafts. They go Dotson, Michael Thomas, James Cook. Then they take Rodgers here at 117. Interesting Rodgers selection. To be honest, I don't really understand the Rodgers call, but outside of that, I mean, I think that there are a lot of positives with this team, including the pairing of Smith, Hurts at the 2-3 turn. Really like getting Kyle Pitts in the 6th to pair up with Drake London on the build. Okay. Let's move this down. So Harris goes 122. I'm going to be very quiet on what we're saying here. I really don't want to get sniped. Okay, well, one of our guys goes. We don't say anything. We get sniped anyway. Okay. They go Jamal. Elijah Mitchell off the board. Never mind. So all the running backs go. We are looking running back here. I'm not going to reach on Kondre Miller, so we'll just get a running back later on in this draft. This honestly may be a 2-7-7-2 build. I never go that road, but I mean, if it's ever going to make sense, when we're 11 rounds deep and the running back selections we've had are pick 91, 102, 115, and looking at how gross wide receiver is later on in this draft, if you're looking at historical advance rates, if you're looking at historical rates in general, you're never wanting to draft 7 RBs. But I think this year may be a little different in very specific scenarios, given how skewed the wide receiver ADP is at this point. So maybe, just maybe, we mix in a 7 running back draft here. Wide receiver, we have Kupp, Olave, Judy, DJ Moore, Zay Jones. Quarterback, we have Josh Allen. Tight end, we have George Kittle, Dallas Goedert. And then running back, we have James Conner, Zach Charbonnet, as well as Rashad Penny. Ooh. So let's move this down. Obviously, at this point, we're wanting a running back to fall to us. That's the main hope here. Real Joker says, taking Goddard over Swift and Akers is what hurt you here. I know I'm an idiot, right? But Dallas Goedert in round 7 is so hard for me to pass on. Like in my mind, the range of outcomes for Dallas Goedert, TJ Hawkinson, they're kind of similar. I think Goddard outscores the wide receivers that go in this range. I think Dallas Goedert outscores Quentin Johnston. I think Dallas Goedert outscores Gabe Davis. I think Dallas Goedert outscores Jahan Dotson, and you're getting him at tight end. So I don't know. I have a hard time. Passing on Goddard there. Okay, Love goes 135. So clearly we can't take tight end when we have George Kittle, Dallas Goedert. So let's get those guys off the board and hope that one or two of them actually gets drafted. So Wilson goes before us, which obviously is a little painful. We would have been happy to get Russell Wilson here. Yeah, if we would have had Russ, we could have paired him up with Jerry Jeudy. This is the team that took Cortland Sutton at 88, though. So, I mean, it is what it is. Bigsby goes as well. May take Rondale Moore. We're going to go Rondale Moore. You can get Kyler Murray in the last 3 rounds of these drafts. And if you're going to look at this build, I think this could maybe make a little sense to go through and take a swing on Kyler here when we're trying to optimize for weeks 15, 16, 17. Josh Allen does have a week 13 bye, so I think we can be carried with the elite quarterback in Josh Allen until Kyler Murray were to come back later in the year. We have the combo of James Conner as well as Rondale Moore now. So, I mean, I think we kind of have to go wide receiver here. It'd be difficult to make a move for a running back. Not really excited about taking like Nico Collins and looking for CJ Stroud later on. Don't really see the ceiling with Stroud. Not really excited about going Romeo Doubs. I mean, Jordan Love's already off the board. We can't take a tight end, as we already discussed. So, yeah, let's go Rondale Moore here. Austin says, are we really not hitting 350? You know we are hitting 350, my man. If you all have not done so already, go down there, drop a like on this live stream. If we hit 350 likes, we'll fire up another draft after this. And, of course, if you want to get in our next draft, go sign up for Underdog. Promo code FLOCK. They'll match your first deposit dollar for dollar up to $100. Plus, with promo code FLOCK, you'll get my 2023 fantasy football rankings, a free trial to flockfantasy.com. And on top of that, you will have some fun getting into some drafts with us. And plus, I know 99% of y'all are already on there. So make sure you're going ahead and taking advantage of the Jimmy Butler line that they have. I don't talk NBA player props, but if it's a free line, I have to go out there and point it out to y'all. Okay. Now, MVS off the board here, 147. Mostert goes. So tight end's falling, but like I said, I cannot take a tight end. So I'm not sure this team's going to want to take a tight end either. They can't. They have Kelsey and Njoku. At least if I were them, I would not. They go Donovan Peoples-Jones, so we'll take Roschon Johnson here at pick 150. First reason being, hook 'em horns. Second reason being, it's really hard to know exactly what the backfield will look like in Chicago this next season. And we just need to take some swings on some running backs that could possibly get touches, right? So we'll go ahead and we will pull the Roschon thing. Okay, now let's look at this. We have Kupp, Olave, Judy, DJ Moore, Zay Jones, Rondale Moore at wide receiver. Quarterback, we have Josh Allen. Running back, we have Connor, Zach Charbonnet, Rashad Penny, Roschon Johnson. Tight end, we have George Kittle as well as Dallas Goedert. So, feel good. Now, Robbie G coming out with a donation. Thank you. Says, why are people drafting Javonte at running back 29 when he won't be back until later in the year, won't be at full strength until the 2024 season? I think this is like the same question of saying, like, why are people drafting Breece Hall in round 3? I think a better way to frame it is if Javonte Williams were fully healthy, where would he be drafted? Let's just play the what if game, right? If Javonte Williams were fully healthy and good to go for this next season, what range of running backs would he be in? Would he be going with Aaron Jones, Damian Pierce, J.K. Dobbins? Probably. He would probably be a 5th round selection. So if Javonte was fully healthy, call him a 4th or 5th round pick. So because he is coming off a serious injury, you are having to put a significant discount on him because it is uncertain what we'll have this next season. It's not guaranteed that Javonte Williams will miss the entire year. It's not guaranteed that he won't be full strength until the next season. But getting him in round 9, to be honest with you, I'm kind of fine with it. It's very similar to like where you're looking at Kyler Murray, right? Kyler Murray may very easily be out the entire season. Kyler Murray may very easily give you absolutely nothing. But when you're drafting in a $5 buy-in, $1 million price pool, you are trying to just swing for the fences. You are trying to just take someone that could make a difference, could move the needle for you. So Chart goes off the board here. Jalen Hyatt just continues to fall in these drafts. Shaheed at 161. Okay, I think we may actually, instead of going Kyler, go Carr. This team has Fields, Daniel Jones, so they're not really taking a quarterback. So, I mean, if we're looking at this, we are getting Carr, at this point, about 17 picks past ADP. We have Olave to stack with them. Yeah, so let's go ahead. Let's take Derek Carr here. Who the hell knows, right? If we were to pass on Carr and then all of a sudden, Kyler Murray does go off the board by the time we're back up, probably not going to be in a great spot. So might as well just take Derek Carr and play the what-if game. What if Derek Carr actually works out in New Orleans? What if Derek Carr is pretty strong? We do have Kyler Murray going directly after we take Derek Carr here, so probably the right play. So our 2 quarterbacks going to be Josh Allen, Derek Carr. 2 tight ends will be George Kittle, Dallas Goedert. Wide receivers will be Cooper Kupp, Chris Olave, Jerry Jeudy, DJ Moore, Zay Jones, Rondale Moore. Running back so far, you have James Conner, Zach Charbonnet, Rashad Penny, and Roshan Johnson. Jaden says, Texas baseball tomorrow at 5, super regional. Are we playing A&M, my friend? I had some friends reach out to me saying something about like a super regional in Texas A&M. They said they had to beat Stanford or something. I don't know. Are we playing A&M? Okay. So good to see Pickett off the board. Obviously, we're wanting to see QBs. Okay, no, we're playing Stanford. Never mind. Okay, let's swing this around. Conklin goes. Good for us. We are just running back wide receiver from here. So we're kind of wanting Shakir because we have Josh Allen. At the end of the day, I don't know how much of a difference it actually makes. Young goes 172. Good for us. We'll take Jeff Wilson saying, what if Dalvin Cook doesn't go to Miami? I don't know. We just need running backs that can hit our starting lineup at this point. We have James Conner, Zach Charbonnet, Rashad Penny, Roshan Johnson, Jeff Wilson. It's a nasty, nasty running back room. Okay. Let's move this over. Tesla says, think Deontay Hardy is a threat to Shakir. To be honest with you, I have no idea if Shakir's going to be anything. I don't know if Hardy's going to be. I think it'd be someone completely random that we're not even thinking of. It's more so we need another wide receiver. No wide receivers in this range are decent. We just kind of have to go ahead and have to take someone. And it probably makes sense to grab someone in Buffalo whenever we have Josh Allen and no other Buffalo options. Now, the best pick in the draft, Trey Lance off the board there at 181. So, congrats, Scott. You probably just won $150,000. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so taking at minimum one more running back. Possibly we're going 2-7-7-2. ER7 says, if Hopkins goes to the Patriots, will Mac Jones move off the board? I think he'll have to. Mac Jones right now very rarely gets drafted in these. I think if Hopkins goes to New England, Mac Jones will be drafted in almost every single one. Now, I don't know if Mac Jones will be a 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th round pick. From there, I just don't really know, to be honest. But I would imagine that he is drafted in the majority of them. We'll go ahead. We'll take Leonard Fournette here. Just taking a player that we think that their ADP could rise dramatically by the time we get to the start of the season. That's the name of the game at this point. Taking players that you think could see dramatic swings with their ADP by the time we get to the actual kickoff of the NFL season. Okay. Jesse says 350. Let's go. Thank you so much, everybody, going down there and dropping a like on the stream. We'll fire up a draft right after we make our next pick here. Show this off. So wide receiver, we have Kupp, Olave, Judy, DJ Moore, Zay Jones, Rondale Moore. Went with the bully tight end strategy with George Kittle, Dallas Goedert. We have the elite quarterback, Josh Allen. Kind of punted running back went James Conner, Zach Charbonnet, Rashad Penny, Roshan Johnson, Jeff Wilson, as well as Leonard Fournette. So maybe, just maybe, if Fournette signs somewhere, this can be a decent team. Maybe. Caesar says, how many wings do you think you could eat in one sitting? I don't know now. Okay. But in high school, my friends and I used to go to Hooters All You Can Eat Wings very often. I believe it was on Wednesdays. Now, they were boneless wings, so they were essentially chicken nuggets with sauce. Keep that in mind. Boneless wings, not a real thing. Not a real wing. They bring them out to you in plates of 10. One day we went pretty adventurous. It was a new friend to the friend group that decided to come out and take us on because I was unquestioned champ. I would win every single time. It got to a point where he would eat one, then I would eat one. We were just staring back and forth at each other. I think I was at 67 and he got to 64. More than you would ever believe. We'll put it that way. Okay. I've been talking about this for a long time. Y'all know the food challenge YouTube channels, that will go and beat food challenges at places. I really want to go ahead and do that. I know y'all aren't going to believe me, but it is what it is. Just like I'm sure people don't believe me when I say, yeah, we bench 225 for 12 at 160 pounds. And then I have to say, okay, go look at the first video on this YouTube channel and you'll see a video of me doing it, But maybe one day, maybe we'll do that instead of the 24-hour live stream. Y'all can choose a food challenge that's in my area and I can go try to eat a 10-pound burrito or something. See if we can do it. I don't know. I promise, my man. I promise. And I went back to Hooters for the first time in a long, long time, 2 years ago. And it was because I had a 3-year-old gift card. And I was extremely disappointed. I went for all you can eat wings. I had hyped up this to all my college friends saying oh, you don't know, I can crush these. Back in the day, I was the man, blah, blah, blah. And then we went, sat down. I ate about 8 of them and went, this is the grossest thing I've ever had. And then we just left. Well, of course, we paid before we left. And I was so pissed because that gift card that I had apparently expired because it was 3 years old. So I was are you kidding me? So it was horrible. It was horrible. But let's go ahead and let's get in our next draft here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get that in. ER7 says, no, you can do that while in your 24-hour stream. Oh, no, you can't do that. It gets to a point where if you eat that much, driving is a hazardous thing. Whenever we did that, the main guy I was going up against, because everybody else tapped out at 30. I went in and we had to wait at Hooters for an hour because he was just throwing up in the bathroom. And looking back on it, I feel so damn bad for everybody who worked there. Because imagine just a bunch of 16 and 17-year-old kids walk in. Yeah, we're going to make you bring us plates of 10 wings for the next hour and a half, But, okay. So we are in here at 10. Going to be a pretty different draft, I'm assuming, compared to what we had in the last one. Obviously, there's no way in hell we're going to be able to start with the elite quarterback build and 2 wide receivers out the gate. I guess maybe we could go Lamb, Garrett Wilson, and then Lamar Jackson, possibly. We're not going to be able to get a start of Kupp, Olave, and then Josh Allen, of course. Braden in here at 4. Good luck, my man. Good luck. Good luck. Wise says, 110. Is it time for a Kelsey draft if he falls? I forgot to tell you all this. We went through and actually had our first Bijan Robinson draft earlier this morning off the live stream. We are at 11. Austin Eckler was already off the board. CeeDee Lamb was already off the board. So we said if that happens, we would go ahead and we would take Bijan Robinson. And that's exactly what happened. Okay. Okay, so Diggs goes 5. You know, I'm not going to complain with the Diggs pick. I know a lot of other people would scream, oh my gosh, you got to take CMC. But based on the running backs, they'll be there in round 3. I mean, I'm fine if you want to grab the anchor wide receiver. CMC finally off the board here at 6. This may be a Kelsey draft. Y'all may be right. So here's how we would queue this up here late round 1. If you go to my rankings on fantasyfootball.com, we have CeeDee Lamb highest. Now Lamb's gone. These guys are in play. Never mind, it is not a Kelsey and is not a Bijan Robinson draft. Instead, it is going to be an Austin Eckler draft. Yes, I will take Eckler ahead of Bijan Robinson. Y'all know I love our guy Bijan Robinson, but it's just hard to get away from it. Adams, Garrett Wilson off the board here at the turn. Oh my gosh. We're going to try it, right? It's the exact opposite of what we usually do in these drafts. In the vast majority of these leagues, we are going ahead and we are going wide receiver, and then taking running back value through the middle rounds. But I guess, just guess, we can go in this way if we want. Oh my gosh. Maybe we go. The thing is, like, are we really supposed to go Adams over Eckler? I don't think so. I was going Adams over Eckler before what we had with Jimmy Garoppolo, but with the Jimmy Garoppolo uncertainty, I think at this point to take Adams over Eckler would be very tough. Like, Eckler was literally the number 1 scoring flex option last year. Y'all know Waddle was my most drafted wide receiver last year when we were getting him in round 4, but to take him ahead of Jonathan Taylor does seem pretty damn tough. So we're going to go Eckler, Taylor. We're going to be very reluctant about it, and we are going to send up a freaking prayer that we are able to get a wide receiver that we like on the way back around, but we'll see. We'll see. And of course, if y'all want to get in our next draft with us, Underdog Fantasy, we do this every single day on the live stream. On Underdog Fantasy, these are best ball drafts, so no time commitment at all during the season. We drafted over 700 teams last year, won $150,000. This is the puppy draft. $5 buy-in, $1 million prize pool. First place prize, $150,000. Second place prize is $75,000. When you sign up for Underdog with promo code FLOCK, you are going to get a dollar for dollar deposit match up to $100. You are going to get my 2023 fantasy football rankings and a free trial to flockfantasy.com. And if you sign up for Underdog today, or if you signed up 2 years ago with promo code FLOCK, a year ago with promo code FLOCK, regardless, go make sure you take advantage of the Jimmy Butler line that they have in the app right now. Okay. But the Needler says, we just grabbed Bijan at 11 and Barkley at 14. Okay, so clearly you're very happy about your start there with the 2 elite level backs. Generally, I mean, I'm fine. I mean, I love these guys in a vacuum, right? Like, I definitely think Jonathan Taylor is a much better option than Jalen Waddle in fantasy. And I don't really want to sit here and go back and forth on that. I think Austin Eckler is a much better option than Garrett Wilson, Amon-Ra St. Brown, even Devontae Adams. But it just gets to a point where in the middle rounds here, if I'm looking at it and going, oh my gosh, am I really going to have to take, I don't know, just say Deebo Samuel over Breece Hall? You know? Like, if we have running backs begin to fall to us in the late 3rd, early fourth, late fifth, early sixth, and we have to pass on them specifically because we took running back at the gate. That's where it gets a little scary. And Johnny says Najee at the 211. I mean, obviously, Najee Harris is not a running back that projects to be as good as some of the other options in this range. I'm sure if M. Hall there were to go through and make his own fantasy football rankings, he's not going to rank Najee Harris over Josh Jacobs. He's not going to rank Travis Etienne over Josh Jacobs. But, I mean, if you were looking at every team submitted in this large field tournament, right, where you were looking at the 225,000 entrants, how many teams will have the combo of Jamar Chase and Najee Harris? Or Jamar Chase and Travis Etienne? I would say very, very few. Chase exclusively gets drafted here at the top of round 1. Najee and Etienne almost exclusively go at the 3-4 turn. So very similar to how you'll see teams take like Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews here over someone like Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts. Not necessarily because they think Lamar Jackson's going to outscore those quarterbacks, more so because it sets them up in a position to have a unique build from the rest of the field in this tournament. So I understand it looks dumb, right? Like it doesn't look like something you should be doing. But at the same time, if I were to bet the reason they go ahead and do it, it is because they are trying to have that unique start. Okay. So Ramadre goes, this is what I was talking about. What happens if Breece Hall falls here to us at 34? If Breece Hall falls to us at 34, what the hell am I supposed to do? This team took Chubb, Lamb through the first 2 rounds. They take Andrews, and this team took Kelsey, Waddle. They go Lamar. This is why it was so freaking gross, unbelievably gross, the nastiest thing ever to go through and take Eckler Taylor out the gate. Take him. You take him like a man. It's not going to be. Oh my gosh. This is going to be tough, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to have to slam wide receivers from here. But Russian Collusion says exactly why I did it. Great explanation. Okay, so this is, I'm assuming the team at 2 there that went through and took Chase, Najee, and Etienne. Okay, that's what I was assuming you were doing, my friend. I mean, obviously, I don't think you necessarily think Najee Harris will outscore Josh Jacobs, of course, but to go through and create that unique build. And speaking of unique builds, how many teams are going to be dumb enough to take Eckler, Jonathan Taylor, Breece Hall out the gate? Keenan Allen not really going to be in play for me here simply because I'm not going to be able to take Justin Herbert in round 5. I'll have to take a wide receiver in round 5. So we'll go Amari and then Jerry Jeudy. I'm not going to take Keenan Allen over Jerry Jeudy. I'll take Keenan Allen there if we really wanted to go ahead and take Justin Herbert in round 5. And I can't take Justin Herbert in round 5 here. We have to take a wide receiver in round 5. Now, Derek coming out says, been watching a bunch of these drafts. Keep up the great content, my man. I caught myself saying maybe, just maybe the other day. Thank you so much, my man, for coming and hanging out with us every single day. I really, really appreciate you. And if we were to go through and make more shirts for everybody, what are some cool sayings that we could have on the shirts? Maybe, just maybe, it is what it is. Doing mental gymnastics. I don't know. What all could we have on the shirts? My dudes, ladies and gentlemen, what do I say? Okay. Frank says go 2-4-9-3. I would say in general, if you were looking at historical hit rates and if you were looking at what people have had success with 3 running back builds in the past, 100% 4 running backs is the way to go. Specifically because ADP at the wide receiver position is so damn skewed. Now I think it's going to be a little more difficult for us to only take 4. We'll figure it out. Okay. GBD12 says no God at round 7 now. I will listen to you. We have to go 3 tight ends. We're going to take those 3 tight ends extremely late. And we probably can't take an elite quarterback either. But Douglas coming out with a donation. Thank you. We'll get to that in a second. But first, let me see what we are going to look at. Go through, and that's a good one. That's a good one. We will flock you. Draft Trey Lance, my friend. Go through in. Okay. That is the greatest catch I've ever seen in my life. Yeah. Throwback for Nathan. How many of y'all know what Nathan is referencing here? I would love to know how many people know what Nathan is referencing. Ooh, 700 draft club. I drafted over 700 teams and won $150,000. Use promo code FLOCK. Can we throw that on a shirt? I only have 2 brain cells firing at a time. That's a good one. Okay. Love it. Love it. Fix Your Life. Fix Your Life's a good one as well. Okay. I'm no mathematician. I'm no rocket scientist. I like that one as well. Okay, real quick, Douglas coming out. Thank you again, my friend. Says, full PPR 12-team league. Should I trade Devonta Smith, Mike Evans, Devonta for Chase Swift, a second and a third? We also have Brees Gibson, Devon Achane, Amon-Ra St. Brown, London, and Watson. Okay, Dynasty, Evans versus Swift, about the same. Devonta Smith versus Jamar Chase. Obviously, give us Chase by a mile. You say Devonta and Devonta twice here, so I don't know who that other guy is supposed to be. Let me know what this was supposed to say, my friend. That way we can give you the right answer. I'd say, as it's typed, I'm definitely going to go ahead and take Jamar Chase, but I'm assuming maybe you meant something else. But let me know. Let me know. Okay. Now, Hawkinson goes 49. Thank God Hawkinson's off the board, so we don't have to sit here and go, oh my gosh, okay, are we taking Hawkinson here? No. We can't take Hawkinson. This is what we were doing, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we're doing here. Okay. But at the same time, Lance time. I need to get Trey Lance on this channel. Here's what we're going to do. I will find out if I can DM Trey Lance on Twitter or DM him on Instagram. I'm going to find out where I can DM him. I'll send him a DM there. And then the next day on the live stream, I will beg everybody to go and spam Trey Lance saying reply to Mason Dodd's DM and come on Flock Fantasy. We need Lance here, right? Douglas says Pollard. Okay, all good, my friend. Okay. So we're trading away Devonta Smith, Mike Evans, Tony Pollard for Chase. Yeah, go ahead and go get Jamar Chase there, my friend. Yeah, go get Jamar Chase. Okay. Now Herbert goes Mixon, Dobbins, Aaron Jones. Good for us. Obviously, we are just wanting one of these guys to fall. George Kittle goes. We took George Kittle in the middle round 6 in the last draft. I like Kittle, but we can't take him here. I like Fields at this price, but I can't take him here. So good to see him go. Okay. Now let's move this down. So Kenneth Walker is the value that is falling here. Now, if we were to take Kenneth Walker, then at that point, we would officially only be drafting 4 running backs. Never mind, Kenneth Walker's off. We weren't taking him anyway. We were trying to get someone else to take him. JSN goes, so we'll go Godwin. All right. Come on. Give me a wide receiver. Okay, this team here already has 4 wide receivers. Maybe we see him go like Alexander Madison or something. Ayuk goes 59. They go Sanders, Lawrence. This team back up. This is the team that took Ayuk to pair up with Debo. Let's freaking go. Getting Michael Pittman round 6 may have saved this draft. Ladies and gentlemen, we may be able to make this work. I went from thinking that this was going to be a disgusting team with absolutely no shot to do anything. Y'all had to convince me, Jeep guy in particular, had to convince me to go ahead and take Brees Hall round 3 like a man. I'll say I'm not a man, I'm a little boy. But nonetheless, we did it. I think we are begun to found wide receiver value anyway. So we're going to go ahead and we will take Godwin, Michael Pittman here at the turn. So love it. Love it, love it, love it. We have Taylor. We're going in on this Indianapolis Colts offense. We will be seeing if we can get Anthony Richardson beyond ADP a little later on. But we get lucky here. We get lucky here, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see what happens. Okay. Evans, 66. And of course, real quick, if y'all want to see another draft after this one, go down there, drop a like on this live stream. If we hit 600 likes on the stream, we will fire up another draft. And if you want to get into our next one, or if you want to go get this Jimmy Butler free bet, go sign up for Underdog Fantasy. Use promo code FLOCK and they'll match your first deposit dollar for dollar up to $100. Also, with promo code FLOCK, you'll get our 2023 fantasy football rankings and a free trial to flockfantasy.com. Okay. But now we have a run on wide receiver for Alexander Mattison go off the board here at 69. If Alexander Mattison continues to go at the 6-7 turn, like we saw Alexander Mattison go at pick 72 in the last draft, I will take a lot of Alexander Mattison. Y'all know, we drafted a lot of Alexander Mattison back when he was going round 9. Obviously, he should rise. There is no reason for him to ever be going in round 9, but okay. See, this Tony goes 72. Yeah, so we have a massive run on wide receiver. We still need wide receivers, so not good for this to happen. And I know people are telling us Mason No Dallas got it round 7, but I don't know. I do not know, ladies and gentlemen. Dotson goes 73. Okay, so yeah, wide receivers flying. People saw us gloating. People saw us saying that this team may be decent. And they said, haha, Mason, you think this team's going to be decent? We'll take Quentin Johnston over Kyle Pitts. Ha, ha, ha. Okay. So, yeah, once we take Pittman here, there is a run where you have a total of 14 picks where only 2 of those are not wide receiver. Pitts off the board here at 77. Oh, I like this one for a shirt. Where did we go wrong with this team? That's a good one. That's a good one. Okay. Come on, Mason. Keep it together. Don't do something stupid. Whatever you do, don't do something stupid. Dalvin Cook off the board here at 79. Woodhead goated on the clock. Chubb Walker at running back. Wide receiver Lamb, Allen, Hollywood. Tight end Andrews. You go Brandon Cooks setting us up to do something stupid. Okay. Bateman goes. We will go with the hyper-fragile start. I don't think we can get away from taking Cam Akers here. I don't know if I can take Zay Flowers, Elijah Moore, Michael Thomas, or Cortland Sutton over Cam Akers. And this is why you don't draft running backs back-to-back round 1 and round 2 in these underdog drafts. This is why you grab your anchor wide receiver so you never even have to consider drafting someone like Zay Flowers in this range. So we're going to go with the hyper-fragile approach. We'll only have 4 running backs, and we will find a way to make it work. Deshaun Watson goes at 83 as well. Crap, that was our pick on the way back around. That was our pick on the way back around. Why the hell is this team taking Deshaun Watson? Apparently no apparent reason. Neil coming out of the donation says, at the 101, thoughts on the start. Thank you so much, my man. Let me go ahead and dive into this after we make our next pick. And our next pick cannot include a running back, so we will take Zay Flowers. Go Zay Flowers there, and let's check out the team at 1. Ooh, wrong button there. Jefferson, Henry, Mahomes out the gate. DJ Moore, TJ Hawkinson there at the 4-5 turn. Then Tony, Jahan Dotson. I mean, I think it's a strong team, my man. I mean, personally, if I were to go through and change anything, what I personally would have done is take Kyle Pitts over Jahan Dotson, go with the bully tight end approach of pairing together TJ Hawkinson and Kyle Pitts. But at the same time, I personally probably would have ruined that draft where it looks like you did a much better job. So if I'm going to go through and say if I would have done anything differently, I think everything would have been the same until the 6-7 turn. With my monkey brain, I wouldn't have been able to convince myself to draft Kadarius Toney. I wouldn't have done it, even though it was probably the right call to pair up with Patrick Mahomes. And I, with my monkey brain, probably would have drafted another tight end instead of Jahan Dotson there. So, yeah, that's what I would have done. But of course, what I would have done most likely is not what you should have done, my friend. Tesla says, could have had the Deshaun Watson, Elijah Moore stack. I could have, my friend. I could have. But I thought we could be greedy. I thought we could get Deshaun Watson on the way back around to pick 87. We're going to go through and look at this. The team right after us had no Cleveland Browns. The team at the very end already had Trevor Lawrence. So I thought that there was really no reason for them to go through and take Deshaun Watson. I thought that there was a very good shot. We had Deshaun Watson on the way back around at 87 to pair up with Amari Cooper. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Now, this is what we want to see. Thing of beauty, right? I mean, in general, I agree. I think the running backs in this range are the best values. But once we go Eckler, JT, Hall, Cam Akers, we probably cannot take another running back throughout the rest of this draft, and we definitely cannot take another running back over the next 5 or so rounds. So even if they're the best values, we need to see them go off the board. Okay. Okay, so Alvin Kamara off the board here at 97. Big Lenny says Team 4 is solid. Looks like every draft that we are in, everybody's always saying Team 4 is great. Team 4 is great, as if, I mean, the 4 spot may be the spot you want to be at. So Team 4 has almost the same start that we did in the previous draft, where they go Tyreek, Olave, Josh Allen. I mean, we went Kupp, Olave, Josh Allen out the gate in the last one. Then in round 4, who did we get in round 4 in the last draft? I think we had a wide receiver falling to us at a value. No, we had Jerry Jeudy, round 4. Then round 5, who did we have? We had DJ Moore. Round 6, we had, I think, another wide receiver. I don't know. No, we had George Kittle round 6, then Dallas Goedert round 7. Honestly, I like my draft, how we started a little bit more than Team 4's here. Okay. So let's move this around. Tyler Boyd goes. All right. 0 in. Send your good vibes, send your good energy our way, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to need it. We are going to need it. And y'all didn't send it. I don't know what y'all were doing. When I ask for something, y'all got to deliver here, okay? What we needed is we needed Anthony Richardson falling to us at 106. We needed the double stack with JT. We needed the double stack with Michael Pittman. Clearly, y'all did not try hard enough to send your vibes, to send your best wishes, to send the good energy, the good luck in our direction. And I did nothing to ruin this draft. I want to be on record. I did nothing to ruin it. I did a perfect job. It was you who did not pull your own weight. Okay. Very disappointed. We'll go Fry Meteor instead. where if we would have had Anthony Richardson to pair up with Taylor and Michael Pittman, it would have been beautiful. It would have been beautiful, but it is what it is. Rex says, we owe Mason $150,000. Yes. I don't know if y'all have heard of a class action lawsuit, but I'm going to do the exact opposite with y'all. I'm going to have YouTube take a log of the 477 people that are here now. And instead of it being class action lawsuit where a bunch of people sue one entity, I am going to sue each one of y'all individually. Let me get a calculator out. 150,000 divided by 477. There's no way that's it, right? Okay, no, that was not correct math. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take Tua for no apparent reason. We don't really have any other stacking options. We're going to spite the team that took Anthony Richardson from us. And we will take Tua instead because I was sitting here doing useless math on a calculator to try to figure out how much each of y'all owe me individually. And it looks like it will be $3,144. You can cut that in the form of a check. If you are going to pay by card, it's going to be a $15 service fee. All right. All right. Okay. So let's move this around. Yeah. So we're going to go Tua there, like I said, for no apparent reason. We can't take a running back. Am I really supposed to draft Allen Lazard? You know what? I probably am supposed to draft Allen Lazard. We need a wide receiver so damn bad. And at the same time, we have Breece Hall. Maybe we could set ourselves up with a double stack of Aaron Rodgers. So maybe if we would have thought that through instead of just spaz selecting Tua, maybe we could have made the right pick, but it is what it is. People saying math, not mathing. Let me see. Divide 150,000, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 by 477. Oh, no. Hey, great news for everybody here. Y'all only owe me $314 each. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Now, Gibson, Damian Harris off the board here, 116, 118. Good. Come on. Let's get this green off the board. Let's get this green. Never mind. We couldn't even take an Allen Lazard. Allen Lazard went to pick 108. Never mind. What am I talking about? So we are quarterback, wide receiver, tight end. All right. Rodgers could make some sense. He'd pair it with Breece Hall. We could get Tyler Conklin at the end. Zay Jones makes sense because he plays wide receiver. Sky Moore makes sense because he plays wide receiver. Darnell Mooney makes sense because he plays wide receiver. Goff, probably not. Mingo makes sense because he plays wide receiver. Gallup makes sense because he plays wide receiver. So we'll see. Big Lenny says, chances the winning team has 2 running backs from this pocket. I'd say slim. Just because wide receiver ADP is so skewed that, I mean, having to draft the wide receivers in this range, which historically speaking may have not been that bad, but this year when they're moved up the board so much, I feel is just horrendous. Okay. So Rasheed Rice off the board. TJ Major on the clock. Goes Darnell. Maybe we go Rodgers and somehow get away with only drafting 2 quarterbacks here. This team on the clock already has Fields and Richardson. They can't take another quarterback. The team before us has Lamar and Geno. They can't take another quarterback. It's really Woodhead Goated is the only team we have to worry about going QB. Whereas they go Gallup. Okay, the teams after us, one of these teams will have Garrett Wilson. But the team who has Garrett Wilson has Lawrence and Daniel Jones. They're probably not going to go QB. But J.R. Myers here is a wild card. You have no idea what they're going to do. They took they took Deshaun Watson without having anybody from Cleveland. So we'll just lock up Aaron Rodgers here, 130. And we will not take another quarterback from here. And let's queue up some wide receiver. Romeo Doubs off the board. So we're going to go ahead. We will take Nico Collins here. And this is just disgusting, disgusting, disgusting. Okay. Let's show this off. So let's see. Here in this draft, we were picking at pick 3. We started out Cooper Kupp, T. Higgins, Jalen Hurts, Christian Kirk, Dobbins, Burks, Dallas Goedert. We get Goddard to pair up with Jalen Hurts, of course. Then we have James Cook, Michael Thomas, Antonio Gibson, Zay Jones. Great start, everybody. We're super happy with it, and we're really good at drafting. I hate this thought process. Tua's missing time, unfortunately. Why do you think Tua's missing time? Genuine question. Why do you think Tua's missing time? Because he missed time last year? I think Tua is a phenomenal value at quarterback right now, if I'm going to be honest. I mean, Tua led the NFL in adjusted yards per pass attempt last season. Jason says, did Underdog Fantasy actually pay you $150,000? I won the Big Dog tournament for $100,000, my friend. I won the Bulldog 2 tournament for $20,000. I got 16th place in Best Ball Mania for $10,000. And we had obviously a bunch of teams that advanced, a bunch of miscellaneous places as well. We had a bunch of teams that were actually, I think we had 3 or 4 teams at one point that were in the top 500 in regular season scoring for Best Ball Mania. A lot of them were like Waddle and Josh Jacobs teams and Mahomes teams, of course. So honestly, we maybe would have done better last year. Of course, you never know. I'm saying if they had like the regular season payouts. Okay, so let's move this over. So we can take tight ends. I mean, it seems like the past few drafts, right? We've gone through and we've gone fully tight ends. So okay, so we cannot take running back. We cannot take quarterback. God, I'm stupid. Who did we take in the last round? Nico Collins? Should have taken Romeo Doubs. If we're going to be able to get Jaden Reed here. Carlos says, how long was that money sitting in your account before you withdrew? Maybe 2 days? Less than a week, I'll say that. I don't remember the exact amount. Okay. We'll take Higbee. I think taking Higbee honestly may give us the flexibility of only drafting 2 tight ends Maybe we can say, oh, we have Cam Akers. Cam Akers, Tyler Higbee will correlate. Not really, but we can try to lie to ourselves and say it will happen. Irv Smith Jr., Tyler Algier, both off the board. Okay, what are y'all doing here? Marvin Mims, 157 love. Okay, thank God. We really wanted Donovan Peoples-Jones to pair up with Amari Cooper. So we will get Donovan Peoples-Jones here, pick 159. Happy about that. Happy about that. Okay. So here is an example for everybody of why you do not take running backs out the gate on Underdog. Why it is no longer the reign of the anchor running back, the hero RB. Why now from here on out, it's the hero wide receiver, the anchor wide receiver. Instead of going through and approaching the draft like this, you should do what Team 4 did. You take your wide receivers early, and then you get the running backs in the middle rounds like Joe Mixon and Alexander Madison. Or, another example of a team that does this is the team at 12. They take their wide receivers early, then they get their running backs in the middle rounds. Historically speaking, that has been the literal worst thing to do in fantasy football drafts. But historically speaking, we have never seen ADP like this ever before. Now, Jeep Guy says, I don't hate this draft, honestly, but I'm an idiot. I'm right there with you, my man. Okay, let's move this down. Mr. TD says, I'm backing Tua up if I pick him in general. Best ball might be. It doesn't matter if it is best ball or a casual redraft format, my friend. You should not draft the backup quarterback to your QB. Please do not do that. Do not do that. Okay. William says, do you think Madison is for sure the Vikings starter week 1? I think the Minnesota Vikings probably bring in another RB as a depth option, but I think Alexander Madison is the starting running back, and I think that he is going to be the head of a committee there. Jeep Guy says, what if it's Trey Lance? If Miami trades for Trey Lance and you were to draft Trey Lance, at that point, you would not be drafting the backup to Tua. Okay, Kenny Pickett at 170. I don't know what roster Lance will be on this next season, but I just want to let you know he will be starting, all right? If he's with the 49ers, he's starting. If he's with the Dolphins, he's starting. If he's with the Bucks, he's starting. If he's with the Commanders, he's starting. If he's with the Chiefs, he's starting. If he's with the Bills, he's starting. Don't think about it. Just trust me. Wandale goes, so Chase Brown 172. Actually, let's look at everything, right? Let's look at this entire board. Braden says, would have loved Robinson there. Yeah, I was really wanting to get Wandale, but T. Smitty here has to go through and snipe us. So it is what it is. Mechie goes. I was really hoping we were going to get John Mechie. Let's grab a wide receiver. We need a wide receiver. We'll take any of them at this point. Okay, what else are we looking at? Conklin goes 179. If we wanted to go with the third tight end, Tyler Conklin would have been that guy. Pair up with Breece Hall and Aaron Rodgers. Josh Downs goes. So we're going to go ahead. We will take McCole Hardman to pair up with Rodgers. We need a wide receiver. No, I do not think McCole Hardman's better than Leonard Fournette. No, I do not think he's a better pick than Trey Lance. But when you're an idiot like I am and you start off Eckler, Taylor, Breece Hall to mix it up, you're forced to do nasty, nasty things. So let's move this down so everybody can see this monster that we got a brewing. And don't let us in the live stream like this, ladies and gentlemen. Go down there, drop a like on the stream. If we had 600 likes on the stream, we will fire up another draft. And of course, if you want to get in one of these drafts with me and embarrass me yourself, go sign up for Underdog Fantasy. Use promo code FLOCK and they'll match your first deposit dollar for dollar up to $100. Also, with promo code FLOCK, you'll get my 2023 fantasy football rankings. You will get a free trial to flockfantasy.com. And on Underdog as well, they have the free Jimmy Butler lineup for tonight as well. So make sure you're going to take advantage of that. Okay. Now let's move this down. Vizik says, top 5 teams you think will likely make it to the Super Bowl. Interesting question. And I've talked about this before, but it is just so difficult to go through and look at Super Bowl predictions when the conferences are wildly different, right? I mean, in the AFC, it is just a bloodbath with the Chiefs, the Chargers, the Dolphins, the Bills, the Jets, the Bengals. There's so many great teams in the AFC. So if I'm making bets on like a team to go to the Super Bowl, I would just play it safe. I would go over to the NFC, and in my mind, like the Philadelphia Eagles and the 49ers are kind of in their same tier. I mean, you have 2 of the best quarterbacks in the league with Jalen Hurts and Trey Lance leading both respective teams. So, I don't know. I think I'd probably play it safe and go, say, Eagles, 49ers, and then NFC, who else could you even go with? Chiefs, Bengals. Mix it in, say, Chargers over Bills. I know everybody was on the Chargers last year, which obviously didn't work out, but it is what it is. Okay. Okay. I have to tweet this out. Just saw Ty Chandler get drafted before Trey Lance. Will be crying for the next 24 hours. Okay, we are on the clock. Let's take Claypool. Who cares? We need a wide receiver that can possibly do something. Chef EV says, at the 108, thoughts on the structure. Okay, let's go ahead and let's look at that. I'm honestly going to take a tight end here. We're going to go Hayden Hurst, Trey McBride, or Michael Mayer. We'll go Hayden Hurst. All right, let's look at the team at pick 8. So going Lamb, putting us in the tough spot. I would rather you take an Eckler, my friend. Chubb 17, Andrews, Keenan, Walker, Hollywood, Cooks. Dak at a strong value to get the double stack there in Dallas. I like it. I am a little hesitant in these super large field tournaments to go through and have 4 players from an individual offense on the team. Obviously, in a smaller field tournament, it'd be nice, but I like it. Also, when we're looking at, say, a 3 quarterback build where we have Kyler Murray, I'm probably going to lean on the side of, if we are taking a 3rd quarterback, someone that should probably start producing right away, right? That won't need time to develop through the course of the season, that we can assume that they actually front load their production. So I don't necessarily know if I want to take a rookie quarterback with a Kyler Murray build, because you already have the elite level ceiling at the end of the year with Kyler Murray and Dak Prescott. But I think that's all we have for this live stream. Again, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, hanging out with me the entire stream. Hopefully tomorrow we'll learn how to draft a good team, right? I mean, I feel like the past 2 days, it has just been brutal. I actually, honestly, the stream we did before, the draft we did before this one, I was fine with. But again, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for hanging out with us. Really do appreciate you. As always, if you want to get in our next draft, Underdog Fantasy, link in the live chat. Hopefully you draft better than I do. Also, they have the free Jimmy Butler lineup. I know 99% of y'all are already on Underdog, so go take advantage of that right now. Thank you again for everything. Really appreciate y'all. Really hope you have a great day, and really hope that we get to see you out with the live stream tomorrow.